All right, so I am putting in to the chat this link. Oops. Do you guys see it? For some reason, I've lost chat now. I am not as skilled with using.
Yeah, the link was in the chat and it works. It's a Mentimeter.
Yep.
Yep, we're good.
Okay, awesome. So go ahead and just list what your current confidence levels are in those areas. All right. So let me go ahead and share. You guys have to say, okay, share content, share web browser. There we go. Really very much not used to.
There we go. You got it.
Oh, you guys can see my Mentimeter results?
I'm seeing the Mentimeter results. Yes.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So 3 of you are right in the middle of knowing like where you want to work after you leave ISU. But if you look at the distribution here, one person is like, no, I don't know at all. And another person is like, oh, I totally know what I want to do. And that is okay. People are all over the place on this one. The next one, most of you are grouped right there around 2 and 3. How do I create my polished application materials? Not feeling very confident about that. You guys seem to be right in the middle of how to succeed at our job interview. So not super confident, but not like totally uncertain. The next one, some of you are uncertain how to design and deliver a college course. Some of you feel more like you're in the middle. And uncertain is how to conduct research on my teaching. Okay, I'm going to switch back to PowerPoint. I think I am.
Yep. We've got your PowerPoint again, Karen.
Oh, good. Okay. So that is what we are trying to do in the Preparing Future Faculty program, is increase your confidence for becoming faculty. Clark, do you want to talk about 585? Clark and I are both the administrative people behind PFF.
So sure. My name is Clark Kaufman, and I'm the faculty fellow in our Center for Excellence in Learning and Teaching. I work very closely with Karen, and what Karen and I work towards is development of graduate students and postdocs. Another way to think about it is we try to get you prepared for whatever your next career move might be. And so you're going to see us talking about preparing future faculty for starters. And this comes in the form of 4 courses. And so the first one is 585, and that's currently ongoing. We had our second class meeting earlier this week, and it is about finding your fit. So what type of an institution, what type of job would be a good thing for you in terms of your next career move? So to do this, we bring in panels from various institutions, community colleges, R1 institutions, small liberal arts colleges, and it's just try to get you a sense of there's a whole spectrum out there, and get a chance to talk to people about what their jobs are like, what their lives are like working in these other institutions. The other things that come out of 585 are some application materials, and I'm going to talk about 585 and 586, and that's the next semester. So 585 is in the fall. Now we can see Karen's smile. 585 in the fall and 586 in the spring. But in the fall, we work on getting a highly polished curriculum vitae, a statement of your future scholarship or your research plan, as well as your cover letter. So these sound like job application materials, and that's exactly what we want you to come out of these courses with. I'll go ahead and do 586, and Karen, you can do 87 and 88 if that's okay. So then 586, more application materials. So we work with teaching statements and diversity statements. And what 586 tends to focus on is how to teach. So we spend a lot of time thinking about course design. How do you come up with learning outcomes? How do you figure out whether your students have achieved those learning outcomes? And how do you walk into a classroom and change your students' lives, teach them something? So that's 585 and 586. And we've been talking quite a bit. Are there any questions about that sort of those first two pieces of preparing future faculty? And you can type into the chat if you like. You can unmute. There's only 4 of you, so feel free to unmute. If not, Karen, 587, 588.
Okay, so Clark just told you about sort of the 1-year program of fall and spring, which will earn you the Preparing Future Faculty Associate transcript notation. But at the same time you're doing 585 and 586, you can take one of our 2 or both of our 2 advanced courses, or you can take these classes first. But the next advanced courses are a teaching practicum. There's opportunities for teaching upper level courses because faculty at Iowa State recognize Preparing Future Faculty as a program that's been around for almost 20 years now. And they're used to giving some special teaching opportunities to Preparing Future Faculty members. So it's a way to get an upper level course or co-teach an upper level course with faculty. Applying what you've learned in 586. So generally we like you to take 586 first or at the same time as 587. But if you have a great teaching opportunity, take this class at the same time you're teaching. And then 588 is our independent project support group, basically, is what we call it. But what we want you to do is look at your CV, look at your vita, look at the experiences you've had in graduate school so far, and think about, what haven't I done yet that I need to do to demonstrate in my new job that I know what I'm doing? Like fulfill something that the new job wants you to have. And oftentimes for our PFF students, this is learning how to write a grant. This is developing a course from scratch or transforming an in-person class to online, preparing manuscripts. So this is all 4 classes. If you complete 3 classes, you earn a Preparing Future Faculty practitioner certificate. And if you do all 4, you get the fellow and scholar certificates. Another important thing that we have in PFF is mentoring. We ask for you to get another mentor aside from your PI or major professor, to that person can get to know you through the PFF program. We ask that you meet them twice a month for 45 minutes each time. And then this person will be able to write a letter discussing your teaching and what you've worked on to become future faculty. It's just someone else who gets to know you. And you need 3 letters to apply for that job. So one from your major professor, one from us in Preparing Future Faculty, and then one from your Preparing Future Faculty mentor. We'll give you those 3 letters from people who actually really know what you've done here. Again, teaching opportunities that are not usually available to graduate students and postdocs. And I already started mentioning the transcript notations. So you earn an associate when you complete 585 and 586, a fellow if you do 3 of our classes, and a scholar if you do 4. And you would list this under awards on your VITA because this is a competitive program that you must apply for. This is some research that we have done, and we're just about to refresh this research because it's been a while, as you can see here. But we asked people who'd been through the program how effective our program was in increasing their confidence. And you can see there are big increases in understanding the difference between industry and government grants, how to integrate work life and personal life, understanding tenure, what different schools are looking for when they hire. That was the biggest one. And what the differences are of faculty life at different schools. But we cover all of these things. And you can see that on the left, everybody was like 2 or 3 before they took the classes. And then on the right, after they took the classes, they're all up there in 4 and almost 5, feeling pretty confident. Here is a breakdown by college. You can see that we have people from every corner of Iowa State University that are participating in this program. And what that means is this gives you a chance to meet people outside your lab or outside your unit, your cohort, and you get to make some really great friends. And the reason why you get to make some really great friends is that you will be paired in a group with other PFF students in your own little group of 5 or 6 during the first semester and the second semester. And then when you move on, if you go to 587 and 8, those classes are usually about a dozen students. And so this just gives you a chance to really get to know people from different majors. Clark, do you want me to talk about Certal, or would you like to talk about Certal? Oh, I can't hear you.
That's because I'm muted. So we can switch gears so they can at least hear somebody else talk. Do ask us questions. I feel like Karen and I are literally talking heads here right now. So please, I do want to encourage you to ask questions. So Certal, this is a mouthful. The Center for the Integration of Research, Teaching, and Learning. What is it? Karen, does this have on the next slide? Does it have what Certal upcoming programs? Okay, go ahead and back up for a second. So Certal is an international organization of 42 universities, and they offer professional development training programs that are a nice complement to what Karen and I just talked about with the Preparing Future Faculty program. So go ahead and go to the next slide here, Karen. We have something here. So this is an interinstitutional collaboration with those 42 institutions. They offer workshops, they offer learning communities, they offer courses, and you can pick and choose. It's a very large and varied menu in professional development sorts of things. And so you can decide, I read through the menu and there's this thing that's going to just take an afternoon and I'm going to sign up for it. You can think about you want a larger interaction, something that meets multiple times over an extended period of time. They have those. And the price tag is it's free because Iowa State pays the entrance fee. So it's another great opportunity for you to be able to advance your own career. And as we said at the intro, that's really what Karen and I like to do. And what makes our jobs enjoyable is watching people that participate in the program be successful and grow and develop as they are getting ready to apply for jobs. As somebody who never went through a Preparing Future Faculty program, I am very envious of the people that are in the program. Because if I had known what Preparing Future Faculty folks know because of the program, my job interviewing process would have looked a lot different than what it did. Okay, that is Certal.
And so I'll tell you guys about CELT. Center for Excellence in Learning and Teaching. That is the unit that Preparing Future Faculty is housed in here at Iowa State. And the CELT unit is the one that pays the $10,000 fee to be part of the Certal network to give you access to this free training that's there. But that's not all. This page here, this is just a screenshot from our website. We have a lot of events and professional development opportunities that we run through the Center for Excellence in Learning and Teaching. And it just can cover all kinds of different ways to prepare you for a teaching career or interesting things about teaching and teaching careers here through our center. And we'll give you some links to this in the chat. I just can't share my screen and grab links from the internet at the same time. But we love working in CELT. Here you can see this picture is our office, Morrill Hall. And we're up here on the top floor. So if you have a problem, you can come by. I had a graduate student who had attended the graduate student teaching assistant orientation, came by to visit up here, and she and I had good conversations about exciting things that she could put into her English 150 class to like help students connect. She'd come from a highly political school where they talked about a lot of politics, but she didn't want to do that here. So she was wondering what else she could do that students would find interesting. So we had a great discussion about some ideas for her classroom. So please feel welcome to come over here and participate. Clark, do you have anything to add about CELT?
Nope, I just added the link in there. You can see there are pull downs under the graduate students and postdocs. You will see the Preparing Future Faculty program is there. And there's also the graduate student teaching certificate, which is taking the Preparing Future Faculty and taking it another step and actually getting a certificate that says, I've got a lot more teacher training than most of the other people that are applying for this job. And so it's a very nice thing, again, to enhance the likelihood that you'll be successful in your job searches.
We were curious, do people that are hiring care if you did a PFF program or if you got a graduate student teaching certificate, or, you know, we wanted to know, are these things that we're offering, like Certal certificates, useful for our students to get jobs? And the people that we talked to at community colleges, small liberal arts schools, they said absolutely. It was important to them that an applicant show they care about teaching and show that by having participated in extra teaching related programming at their schools. Clark?
I think that kind of sums it up. And then the resources tab there that you can see in front of you, that is going to link to things like Certal and also some of the events that are coming up. And the teaching resources is a whole collection of resources about better teaching. And so CELT, we are here as a service unit for Iowa State University. What's the motto, Karen, for CELT?
Partnering with educators to develop student-centered learning.
There we go. So, and partnering is a good word. That's really what we do. We try to partner with people that would like to be more effective teachers. And CELT is not just Karen and I, it's a small army of people who are very skilled in helping others.
Yeah, and I've been doing this job for 20 years, and I still ask people in CELT all of the time for advice and support and ideas. And it's just a really great place to be.
Okay, well, I think Karen and I have talked enough. We can leave this slide up for right now. Karen, I pasted the CELT in the chat. If you're interested if you have questions, pff@iastate.edu is a great email to use. But right now, rather than emailing us, why don't you ask us any questions? Are there things that came up as we were presenting this information that you would like us to follow up on?
And feel free to type your question if you're feeling shy. That's okay. Oh, we can't unmute ourselves. Oh no. Can you help us fix that, Sarah?
I'm looking, 1 second.
I'm curious as to about time this takes being busy graduate students with extensive amounts of reading and grading and other expectations. I'm just wondering about how much time out of our schedule this might take.
Oh my gosh, that is a great question. Like, how do I even this program with all of my everything else? And that is something that I always wonder about with the students is like, how are you feeling? We don't have a ton of homework for this. The first class is only 2 credits. It meets once a week. And half of those meetings are like a panelists come and talk to you and teach you different things about being a professor. And your homework for that is talk about what they said that's useful for you and talk with your teammates about how that pairs with you and your life and your plan. And the other half of the sessions are slowly putting together your vita, your cover letter, and your research statement, just in pieces and parts. We also ask you to write a couple of thank you notes to people who came and to write whether or not things were going well with your mentor. And so it's really pretty small in the homework requirements. There's no reading that I remember, like maybe a handout or two once in a while for the panelists. Clark, is that accurate?
It is like what I want to emphasize is Karen used the word gradual. You're going to need these job application materials sooner or later anyway. And so we provide the coaching and structure that can allow you to create these things that you're going to need to create for your next step. They're going to be of higher quality than if you, most likely they'll be of higher quality than if you did them yourself. And they are definitely going to be better and of much higher quality than if you found that dream job and you realize that that application is due in 1 week or 2 weeks. You throw this all together and you put it out there. And so it's preparing future faculty. It's not making future faculty. It's preparing you for your next steps. And so I would emphasize that, yes, we're all really busy. If you can make time for preparing future faculty, it's going to pay dividends because sooner or later, you're going to need those materials.
And, you know, the sooner and later question, that's a really good one too. Students often ask, well, when is the appropriate time in my programming for me to sign up for PFF? And I would say that's the second to last year that you're here. Like, you really want your last year for finishing your dissertation, applying to jobs, et cetera, et cetera. So you should do PFF the year before your last year so that like you're ready to think about the job market and you've done enough research at Iowa State or finished enough of your degree at Iowa State that you're like, okay, I'm ready to think about jobs and applying to jobs now and like put my stuff together. So it just makes your last year easier. And people who are like for sure that they want to be faculty, they are certain that they want to be faculty, it's okay to start PFF earlier because then you can continue to work on little things that will look good on your vita for faculty career throughout your graduate career. But if you're not sure, try and wait until like you're much closer to graduation because then you can really focus what you want to do and squeeze a lot out of the program that way. Clark?
So I would encourage you to take a look. We talked about the four pieces, the 585, 586, 587, and 588. If you feel like you would like to do all four of those and maybe throw in some Certal things, then you really want to probably start a couple years out from graduation. 585 and 586, especially if you're questioning what your next moves are, those would be that would be time very well spent the year before you graduate. If you're looking to, if you're pretty sure that this is something that you want to immerse yourself in, then say starting 2 years out allows you to take 585 one semester, 586 the next semester, 587 the third semester, and 588 the fourth semester. Now, that's not required. You can double up. But getting back to that first question about how do we find the time, it's a lot easier to take one course each semester than it is to say, I'm going to double up on 585 and 588 one semester, and I'm going to double up on 586 and 587 the next semester. It can be done, and lots of students do it. But if you know ahead of time that this is something that you want to do, I would definitely encourage the a little bit at a time approach. That was a great question, and I don't think you're able to unmute yourselves yet. Sarah, have you had any luck with that?
I'm able to unmute people, I think, if there
Okay.
is and attendees are able to raise their hands too, and then if I see that, I can unmute them.
So moving forward to this last slide, we just really want to make it clear to you that we care about you. Like, we care about your future. We care about what happens to you after Iowa State. We care about your teaching and your learning while you're here at Iowa State. And we care about how we can support that, how we can help you. So here, pff@iostate.edu, that email only comes to me. I'm the only one who sees it. And I look at questions that you're asking me. We can help you get in contact with who you need to get in contact with at your department, your college, or through the graduate college when you're just like not quite sure who to ask. What we'll help you with here, specifically in-house, is anything related to teaching. Your future as a teacher, or you're right here, right now as a teacher. But we also know who else can help you answer your questions. I know you've already met Sarah and other people at the graduate college, so you already know that you've got a lot of loving support there as well. But, people don't tell you enough that you're valued as a graduate student. Like, Iowa State wouldn't be able to do what it does without the graduate student population. And we're really proud of you and we care about you. I wanted to make sure that you guys know that. So Pete, does anyone have other questions about the Preparing Future Faculty program? Clark also mentioned the 12 credit graduate student teaching certificate program. Slightly different, but it's still run inside CELT for now. It might become part of the College of School of Education. But we're more than happy to answer any of your questions. And also just talk about career ideas or teaching concerns you might have for your time at Iowa State.